Wrong one. Nope. YouTube isn't in the thread cache yet.
Yeah, we'll ninja kick it. We'll get it going.
Takes a little bit.
It's okay. Okay.
Now it is.
Ladies and gentlemen. 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 Children of all ages. Welcome to the Maniacs. The Crypto Maniacs podcast. Talking Web3, blockchain, crypto, a little bit of AI thrown in there. You know, last year it was the metaverse and NFTs. We're just changing with the times here on the show. We're going wherever you guys are going. We're thinking of you, Task. We are thinking of the listeners and the viewers. Kind of. Sometimes. Hi, Task. How you doing, man?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm good, but you let me know that every time I sip my drink during the show, my epic, powerful Blue Yeti microphone, USB microphone, catches all of my sipping.
Yep, you got a pretty good mic there, evidently.
I gotta watch it. So apologies to everyone that's been listening to me drink my tasty hot beverages over the past 284 episodes. I'll try to clean that up going forward. See, I
don't know if it's been 284. As I said, I only noticed it Tuesday, and then I noticed it on the Olive Show. So yesterday. So
it's good that the Olive the brand is working. I like it. The brand
it's taking on a life of its own.
I like it. I like it. We have an absolutely astronomical bunch of questions.
Yeah, well, one person asked like 6,000
because they're awesome. It was Andersino, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like
he's awesome.
30.
Yeah. He had a question about the Nordic countries and how Canada copes.
Yeah, I don't. I think that's kind of getting out of our area of expertise when you start asking about geography. And I mean, you can explain how you deal with the cold, but I mean, it's like
I don't leave my house. That's it. Anyway.
Yeah.
We'll get into it.
Kind of like us in July, August. We don't leave the house. We stay in the AC.
Air conditioning.
Stay in the heat during January, February.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. What we're gonna do though, I'm gonna load up the Threadcast. So if you guys are not yet on Leo Threads, go to inleo.io, go check out the threads, come and engage with us. Being products of the product is what we do here, being Web3 savants, and we love it. We hope you guys enjoy it too. So thank you guys for hanging out. But before I load the Threadcast up, the breaking news for me personally, and I'm sure you saw it because I know you rethreaded it. We had a successful test run of the Leo ads payments today. I double checked, went to Hive Engine and saw that Leo ads had in fact dished out some staked Leo. So looks like the run will be happening pretty quick here, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean,
thoughts on that?
It's been a long time coming, but it's just part of the process that we're going through. And I know there's some questions pertaining to that. So, let's get into the questions, and we can, as those come up, we can delve deeper.
Right. Yeah, it did pop up in a question here. So let's rock it. The YouTube video is not here right now, but it is.
It is. Hey, click refresh. I just got it.
Yep, it is working. So I'm using the oldest to newest way of viewing the Threadcast, so I can keep up with things. But I also have it loaded up as well in another tab, so I can keep up with the new questions. But we're gonna start from the beginning. Task basically wants people to fill up the questions, and we did. Skip TV ad says all maniacs report. and the William Dafoe gif, which is pretty fitting for this show because
That beats the Nicholson
yes, the
yeah, from The Shining.
yes. I like it. Simple Game says he looks forward to this every Tuesday and Thursday. So do we, sir, and we look forward to seeing you guys coming and hanging out with us. So Esme Smith says today's true USD has lost its peg to the fiat. Do you guys think CBDCs will force the stable coins out of the market?
No, I mean CBDCs are destined to be an epic failure. I mean, as confidence in government wanes, what does CBDCs change? You already have a digital form of your currency. It's called the dollar. It's called the euro. I mean, it's called the Canadian dollar. You don't use cash anymore. You just pay stuff using your Visa bill, your Visa card, or whatever. You write checks. It's you don't handle physical currency anymore. So the idea that we're in a world of physical currency and CBDCs are going to replace that is preposterous. So I think it's just going to be an epic fail. And business uses money which is best for them. It's not for government. Got to remember, money was created for merchants, not for governments. And governments seem to want to stick their finger in it, but at the end of the day, they're not going to wave a magic wand and having businesses use the currency they deem, especially in a global economy. You think the Australian businesses, an Australian wholesaler, really gives a crap what China or, for that matter, the United States says? Nope.
It's a good point. But I always get a kick out of it when these decentralized, bunny ear quotes, stable coins lose their peg. It's fascinating to me. I get a kick out of it. I don't know about you, but
well, it's and again they release some backing to try to prop it up. It goes back to the simple fact people do not understand what gives a currency value. They try to buy in. They buy into this nonsense about backing and it's got to have intrinsic value. It's all about economic productivity, and the reason why TUSD could be under attack is it just doesn't have the utility, doesn't have the use case, doesn't have the distribution. It doesn't have any of that. You get and work towards that, then you have a more resilient currency.
There you go. Absolutely. Andresino is excited for tonight's show because he asked a lot of questions. And let's get into his first one. How is the Hive economy doing, according to you? We haven't seen much price action of the stable coin that is Hive. I added that. But does that mean that the economy isn't thriving?
Well, the economy is not thriving because you don't have any services. What the hell do you do on Hive? I mean, goes back to what we talk about. It's what do you see rolling out? I mean, granted, we're still waiting on some infrastructure, so that always precedes applications and platforms. But really, what do you do on Hive? Where's the entertainment? Where's the information? Where's the news? Where's music? Where's different things that you can do? Where's the gaming? You have a few things. You have Decrops, you have Splinterland still, although it seems the shine is fading on Splinterland just based upon, the lack of interest. Maybe there's a lot more being written about them elsewhere. But what do you see? What transactions are taking place? What's going on? And this is why I keep harping upon business. Get rid of the tokenization. If this was just a platform and a digital platform for business,
that's a good point.
What would you say? You'd say this thing's dead.
Yeah, it's you mentioned this a lot. We've spoken about this on the show before. Like the worst thing in the world is if you're going to InLeo and you see last thread 25 minutes ago, and that's not because Leo was having an issue or anything. That's literally the last time someone threaded. That kills it. Like, and it's interesting you bring this up, because I'm gonna, like, a lot of people will hear this and they'll be like, okay, well, I'm not really building a business, and you've spoken about this before. I made the point today, though, and I think Esme and I were going back and forth talking about this. Like, we control this ourselves. We have the power literally in our hands to determine if people stick around.
Mm-hmm.
You want more people using this? Go and use it more yourself. Simple. It's like, and I wish there was more to it. I wish we had a $47 product we could sell people, or a paywall, like it was mentioned. Story time with Django, that's coming soon. But we have nothing to sell here. It's literally, if you want to see more people here, you want more activity here, you want more people coming here, it starts at home base.
I would agree. It's how can you expect new people to come and get involved if you're not involved? And these fucking people say, "Oh, I'm struggling to make my 10 threads a day." Are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
I do at least 20 blog posts a day, and you're talking threads.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be writing an article here. I'm probably going to Lisa ask me to, not Lisa. What the hell is her username? Farm Girl. She asked me to write, and it'll probably end up having to be a series of articles about Flywheel, and Cal mentioned a little bit, but he's taking it from the financial standpoint, which he's going on to step 2. He's missing step 1, in my opinion. And this is kind of what you're talking about there. We have to create the flywheel ourselves, not so much from a financial economic perspective, but from a usability perspective. And then you can get the other things working in favor, and the development that adjuncts that and all this other stuff. But, this is the problem across Hive. It's people sit there and say, "Oh, Hive's wonderful." Of course, they're saying that on Twitter. And
Right.
It's like, well, what are you going to do on Hive? You can blog for money, but we can't talk about that because that's a shitty marketing ploy, and it doesn't work. I mean, I'll be the first to admit it doesn't work. Okay, so what do you have next? What's left in your bag of tricks? Well, who's built anything? Anything that people can go to and click on and read and play and mess around with. You don't have it. Splinterlands did a good job for the while Splinterlands had their shine on, but I don't follow close enough to know what's going on. But it seems there's a lot of disgruntled people, and some of the appeal has diminished. I don't know. Maybe not. But what other games? And Simple Game, if he's listening, I mean, he's done teasers with his games, and fine. I'm not passing any judgment on what he's doing because I don't know the full details, but he has some interesting stuff. Cool. Somebody needs to develop some interesting stuff. And as I go back to this, Django, I'm not a developer, but ideas come to me all the time with stuff even used. I mean, do people realize how valuable threads can be incorporating it into other things? I'll give you an example. I was doing an actor page today on Leo Glossary. I forget the name of the guy. Ed Burns from he was in a lot of different things, but most will know him later in his career. He was in Grease, the movie. But he had a hit song like in the 1950s, and this was in the biography about the guy, the write up. And so what I did is I went and found the song on YouTube. I threw it on Threads, and then I linked the thread to the Leo Glossary page, to the song. Now it's in the Leo Glossary. It's not that big a deal, but that's just some of the ways you can do this. And, everybody keeps coming back to the same thing. And it's like, you realize this isn't going to take off till there's something of value in the database. If you just have a database of transactions and votes, who gives a shit what you voted on 6 months ago? You don't care. I don't care. Nobody cares. We don't care, especially what you voted on 3 years ago. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about the amount of Hive you sent or HBD you sent 3 years ago, including you. You don't care. You only care about what your balance is now. So what else is in the database? Some bad articles, which that's a lot of what is in there is just shit posts and stuff that doesn't hold any value over time. And, but you got to get something in there. And that's some of the reason why you look at the trending news on Leo is trending. I started that because it's like, well, at least let's get some headlines on here. And, Lisa asked the other day, well, can you put other things? Yeah, you can do whatever the hell you want. So you want to use the news on Leo and put some news and then put the article or put link to the article or part of the article, knock yourself out.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I'm going to challenge you on something and see what you think of this. I'm just going to throw it out. I was reading a couple of threads a couple nights ago, and a couple people were just like, this is, I open up my feed and all I see is these things and it's just spam and it's just, there's no value at all to it. They were referencing news on Leo. And it got me thinking, like all of these social media platforms, like, so your mentality is if we fill this with news, if we fill it with content, if there's a database of content here, this becomes a source for news. So I would ask you this, is that how something like Twitter got started? Or was Twitter a place where people just talked, pooped post back and forth, spoke about what they were eating, and the fact that it was so unique and so powerful that then news started to get shared because there was a user base? So do you think that we should focus on getting users up first? And you're going to say, well, what are they here for? I believe personally that you can't underestimate the human value of connections. People will want to be here and use it more if they feel they're connected with something, if they feel valued, if they feel they're giving value, accepting value. Do you think that we're going about this the right way? Or how would you challenge that, hey, we need to build it up first before the news and stuff starts spreading? Because the way Twitter did it was very organic. They didn't force it. News started, like I remember when news became a big thing on Twitter. Remember all the Egyptian revolt and stuff like that? Like that's when the news on Twitter really became a push, a big push. But I think it happened organic. Would you agree, or do you think there's more to it?
Didn't you just say earlier about 25 minutes going by without any threads? So my answer to that is look at the fucking track record. Look at the track record. It's abysmal. Look at the stats. Look at the number of threads and comments each and every day. This thing's been up a year and a half. And where's the activity? In fact, it's down compared to where it was over the summer. Over the summer, we were getting 15, 18, 20,000 threads and comments a day. Now it's not even the 10. So when you sit there and say, and people are sitting there pissing and moaning, nothing is stopping for people. And the fact is, if it looks spammy, how come I can put 6, 7, 8, 10 threads in a row up? It's because nobody is threading. If that was the case, I can't get your feed on Twitter and have 8 tweets in a row on your feed on Twitter. If you're following me, I cannot do that because in between those 8 tweets, other
so much
tweets
activity.
So, it's like you want to sit there and say, oh, well, we don't like this. It looks spammy. Well, what the fuck are you doing? What the hell are you doing? Yeah, and you sit there and say engagement. Okay, engage. Well, where's the engagement? Now we're down 50% from where we were in the summer. And this is success. And then you have people saying, well, we need to bring people over to Hive. But then these same people say, I get my news from Twitter. Right. So they leave to go to Twitter. Of course, these are the same people who, if you look in their account, they haven't posted on Hive in like 3 months. So, what do you want to say? You want to come at me? Fine. Outpace me and put more shit on this blockchain than I do. Put what you want. If you disagree with me, fine. Fill the database with what you want to fill it with. Not what I want to fill it with, but, where are they doing this? And then the other thing that these people don't see, how is this stupid chit chat about your dinner? How is that feeding into Leo AI? Aren't we in the AI age? Aren't we in the LLMs? Aren't we dealing with, Bard and ChatGPT and Grok and all these others. Don't we have Leo AI? Well, what are you putting in there?
Hmm.
So I can go and do a search. What did Django have for lunch? Or what did Django have for dinner in his life? Okay, I get that. You can't
It's
tell
not
me
very
what
exciting.
the capital of Canada is. It has no idea what the hell the capital of Canada is. So, what are you putting in there? At least if you put up an article that says Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong, at least the Leo AI will learn, well, Coinbase CEO is Brian Armstrong. Okay. So again, I don't have monopoly what goes into this database. It's open. It's public. Anybody can publish to it. Anybody can put what they want in it. The problem is nobody's putting anything in it.
That's the big key. I think you hit the nail on the head. Like, if you don't want to see something, start doing it yourself then. Like, create the content you want to see.
Exactly. Right. And then when you say, well, people want to chit-chat and all this, they can do that on Twitter. So why the hell do they need to come here? I mean, if you're sitting there saying people want the engagement, okay, let's be honest. If you want engagement, go to Twitter. Hell, if you want to engage with people on Hive, go to Twitter because you'll get a ton of engagement. I mean,
hear you, dude. I hear you. It's preaching to the choir.
Yeah. Well, I know you're not sitting on Twitter all day, but it's, it's like, what are you people doing trying to kick off this flywheel? Going back to what was talked about. What the hell are you doing? You think your lunch is going to kick off a flywheel on any level? No. And if you want to talk about your lunch, go talk about it on Twitter. There's plenty of people who say, oh, that's a wonderful lunch. Looks good. Looks scrumptious. I mean, it's what is going to pull people here? What is going to keep people here? And if people are constantly talking about their freaking lunch, and oh my God, what happened with Israel and Palestine? Oh, let me run to Twitter and find out. Oh wow, let me comment on that. Oh wait, look, I see they call me Dan here. I see Starkers. I see Hivians. I see people who are on Hive. Let me talk to them here because they don't talk to me on their blog posts. Okay.
God, now you're opening up another can of worms. How am I gonna get attention from people on the blockchain when they're not even engaging on the blockchain? The only way I can get engagement with them is on Web 2 stuff. Interesting.
Well, I didn't even think of that, but yeah, what you say is actually correct when you think about it.
What's the way people don't say, hey, hit me up on Threads. They say, hey, send me a note on Discord or DM me on Twitter. Like, that's how you get a hold of people.
A DM and Threads are two different things. And I tell people, send me a note on Discord about Leo Glossary or something like that. Because,
you open Discord?
What?
You open Discord?
Once in a while. I mean, it's
I
might not get the information for a while, but I understand DMs. You don't post, DMs necessarily on Threads, but again, it's like if you're on Twitter and you find some news, throw it on Threads. Why? Because maybe it's something that people are interested in. And again, if you don't like the fact that I can put up 6 or 8 threads in a row, or anybody can. I mean, I've heard the same bullshit about music on Leo. And there's some people there. Andersino is one. He's putting up a bunch of songs. Sean NFT puts up a bunch of songs. And
Lots
it's
of
like
Drake this morning too.
Yeah, well, it's Andersino's in a Drake mood, so okay.
Love it.
And you may love Drake, you may not love Drake. And again,
he's my hometown kid, man. I mean, I got to root for him, Like,
I'm not talking about you in particular, Django. But if you're one who don't like Drake, well, put up whatever you want. But again, if you don't like seeing Andersino with 10 Drake songs in a row, well, the only reason that he can do that is because some other people are not threading in between. So again, it's like, look at the numbers. It's like, oh, it's spammy. Well, what the hell are you people doing? So,
love it. It's funny because I said we're going to go through everyone's questions here. We have about 20,000 and we're already halfway through the show almost, and we've got 2 questions. So we're doing good, Task. It's time management. We're doing great.
Yeah, well,
And Bradley Arrow asked, you're starting with questions without a rant? I said, just give us a minute, man. Give us a minute. Don't worry. Task will go off. There's your rant.
We have, in case the Threadcast goes down, Django has decided that we are going to like backlog questions. So if the Threadcast happens to be down during one of our episodes, he has a screenshot of questions. So we always have ammunition. Yeah. We learned from what happened the last time.
Yes, we have a wealth of your questions to get to, guys. So if we don't get them to all of them today, we will definitely get to it. But we opened the show with the elephant in the room, and Andersino wanted to know, is there anything new with the ad payout for Leo ads? And we saw the test this afternoon. So here we go. It's going to be game time here, folks.
Yeah, I don't know when, but there's a test, and I presume it passed. I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I checked. I got my little stake, Leo. It was just a little test.
Oh, did you?
I hope that wasn't the main thing, because that'd be pretty bad ROI if it was like 0.0007 Leo or something, like,
Now, does it come in as liquid Leo or Leo powder?
No, staked.
It comes in as staked.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. That's a lot. That's the new model. I see a lot of rewards payments, dividend payments, and stuff. Now, if you delegate to Leo Voter, it comes in as liquid.
Yeah.
But if you, like HoloZing, for example, if you delegate HP to HoloZing, that comes in as staked. That doesn't come in as liquid.
Oh, I'm not saying I have a problem with it.
No, I don't either. It's like, to me, it's like good. I don't need to think.
It's a good idea. Yeah. Make people go through the step if they want to unload it, that they have to unstake it, wait to the unstake time, and then they can sell.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Esme Smith wants to know, because we were talking books yesterday in the Olive Show. She would love to know, what's your favorite book, Task? Because they're looking for recommendations from you. Now, disclaimer, Task is not the most book-friendly person. He reads a lot, but just not necessarily on books. But if you did have to recommend a book, man,
well, it depends on what you want. I think one of the greatest books of all time for success and mentality is Think and Grow Rich.
I knew you were going to say that.
I mean, that to me, if there's only one book you can have in terms of that genre, that's up there. As a Man Thinketh is in the same realm. That's another terrific one. What was the name of, if you're talking about human spirit, Viktor Frankl's, what was the name of his book?
The one, what?
Yeah, he was in the Nazi.
It was about Auschwitz and stuff.
Yeah.
I bought the copy of it at Auschwitz too. Like, I can't even remember.
Yeah, that's another.
People search for meaning or something like that. Man search for meaning or something like that.
Yeah, Man Search for Meaning. There you go.
Right.
That's a good one. So I mean, it's. But if you said, what is one book that I could have for success and stuff, I would say Think and Grow Rich. It really is just, what Napoleon Hill did with that book was pretty amazing. Now, he had other follow-up books that were equally.
Law of Success was really good. That was another one he did.
Yeah, I think one, Outwitting the Devil, that was an interesting one.
Yep, Outwitting the Devil. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just what you're talking about and stuff like that. And I can't speak. There's history books and stuff like that, which,
Yep. There you go.
Again, I'll watch a documentary and
write a post about it. Andersino says, what sector of crypto do you think is going to lead this bull run? Hear many talking about GameFi and gambling being the leaders this time, but I hope to see a trend that would rather benefit an ecosystem like Hive more to take off. What do you think is going to lead this bull run?
Again, see, you have to, if you know what to listen for, you're talking market. Fuck, I don't know. When's the market going to take off? I don't know. What's going to stimulate the market to take off? Fuck, I don't know. And neither does anybody else, by the way. So when you're saying bull run, that's saying what's going to drive the market? Who the hell knows? They can all sit there and say GameFi or gambling or this or DAOs or whatever NFTs. Who knows? The question is, more importantly, from my perspective, because I don't give a shit about markets, is what is going to propel Web3 forward? What are the areas of focus over the next 12 to 24 months that are going to help propel things forward? Now, that's a very interesting question. It's a much different question. And that, it could be gaming, it could be gambling or games of chance, it could be what we're building on Leo, it could be SocialFi. I don't know. But that's really, I think, a more important question. Markets don't need anything to take off. In fact, all this talk about what is it going to be? Who cares? Because the market's going to run. It's going to be because Wall Street pumping money in, most likely.
There you go. What ads do you prefer on Leo? The Google ads or the CoinZilla ads?
Oh, I think Google ads are much better.
Well, Google ads are very targeted.
And they show up. I mean, CoinZilla, half the time there was nothing there. So
that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, Google's the evil empire and whatnot, fine, but they know what the hell they're doing when it comes to advertising. So it's hard to argue against those. And they do seem to be very targeted and very efficient. And so I would say Google ads are much better.
There you go. Yeah, I think that the availability of ads is paramount. So if you see ads, that's a good thing. And CoinZilla, you just didn't see ads. So it comes down to the fact that we're actually generating revenue because the Google ads show up.
Well, and Google ads, you have the chance of people seeing something they're interested in. CoinZilla, it's only crypto.
Right. Gambling.
I clicked on a Mint ad because I was going and getting a new phone. And I said, well, let me see what Mint is dealing with. So I actually started the ad. I clicked on it because I knew I was going to be looking at a new phone and said, well, maybe I'll change my service or whatever. So that I would not have gotten with CoinZilla. CoinZilla, it's like, okay, well, I don't even remember what the hell they promoted.
It was gambling. Banners.
Yeah, yes, gambling app or whatever.
Question for Taskmaster. Can't you ask DAOs to make a report a week of progression of songs added to music on Leo? Think that could help rally more people to add songs every day to our database?
Well, I mean, it could, but right now the idea of adding songs without, I mean, my perspective on music on Leo, what I'm going to do with my stuff, if it works. If it doesn't work, then it's a nightmare because I'm going to have to go back through all my stuff and redo it. But music on Leo needs polls and they're threads. So we need polls. We don't have polls. We're going to get polls, but we don't have polls. So, putting a lot of stuff up now is good, but right at this moment, I mean, and I do put up songs, but getting a couple hundred a day, if we're going to have to go back through them all and put up songs or put up polls, I mean, that's a lot of work. So, but then again, the key is it's great to put up songs. It's great to build this database of songs, but who's really using them? Who's really listening to them?
Well, Cal is, because he says polls are soon. He's
listening to the show, but is he listening to
Dude, he just threaded something out, and he has a question for us. You guys are live while the first Leo ads distribution is going out. How does it feel? So right now, Leo ads distribution is being sent to you glorious lions that staked Leo, that Task and I have been telling you guys for about, 6 or 7 months now.
Longer than that. We've talked about this for 2 years. I mean, I mean, maybe we didn't talk about it on air, but Cal and I have talked about this for 2 years, and Cal made this point known 2 years ago. And certainly it's that Cal's not very secretive, people. He tells you what he's going to do. Now, maybe the time frame isn't exactly how it lines up because of a variety of factors. Some of it being development, some of it being bigger issues with Hive or
Right.
whatnot. But this day is not. It should
A
come as
secret.
no surprise. Yeah, it's not a secret.
It's not
So
insider trading here. Like, oh, we know what Cal's going to do here, and we're not going to tell
yeah,
anyone.
it's like he started posting about this 2 years ago. He started threatening about this, and it was like when ads went live. Okay, he had to adjust and the Coinzilla and the placement of the ads and this and
Right.
that and the technical issues. Fine, but whenever it was back in November or October, they went live. It's like we knew it was coming. We knew for 2 years it was coming, and people are like, "Oh wow, it's here." And now there's a payout. Okay, maybe it took 3 months longer than they expected for a variety of reasons, but it's here. Again, Cal's not keeping any secrets.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot to that transparency. And, the fact that we happen to be on air, that we didn't know, that's a coinky dink. But
That's a coinky dink. I like it.
yeah, but
Yeah.
again, you get more ad revenue the more you stake and the more people click on the ads. And I believe, and I don't know if this is true, if Cal's still listening, maybe he can answer. Hell, maybe Django. But I think the more the page views, that also helps the ad revenue because
That's what Google pays. They don't pay on the clicks. They pay on the impressions. So the more we're viewing it, that's why I did that thread this morning where it showed I had like 125 views to my threadcast yesterday, which generated like 3.9 Leo or something like that.
yeah,
And I'm
well, I
like,
know the counter, but is that accurate?
I think it's all an estimate. It's an estimate.
No,
You know,
I'm
it all
not talking
depends on.
the specific number, but is that in line with how Google pays? So if Google has an ad on a page that gets 100,000 clicks and nobody clicked on the ad, Google doesn't care. It's that 100,000 people saw that ad. Is that what it is?
Cal just said yes, it's accurate in Threadcast. He literally just said that. So there you go, from the source.
Okay.
From the source.
I mean, I don't profess to know how
Well,
these
this is
work
going
exactly.
back to your point about why we need databases here. Again, when Esme and me were going back and forth this morning, that's what her and I both like said, okay, well, this makes sense. Now we understand why Task is talking about these videos and all this stuff on because that will generate revenue for Leo forever.
Well,
So
I'll give you an example, Django. And the total lifetime counters don't work. And Cal has said he has to work on that. And there's things that have to be done. But I will tell you, you take cryptocurrency, Leo Glossary cryptocurrency, Leo Glossary blockchain. Now you take Leo Glossary actor page. The clicks on those, the page views on those, just from being used to build other facets of Leo Glossary and in articles, these are in over 1,000 impressions. Show me articles on Hive that have thousands of impressions.
Right.
Show me threads that have 1,000 impressions. They don't have that. So when you start to look at, and what Andersino was saying about music on Leo, here's my vision of music on Leo, and this is kind of leading into the flywheel stuff that I'm going to be writing about. But when you have music on Leo and you have polls with the song on music on Leo, then you can tell people, go vote on this song. So now you get people going to the song to do some voting. Now you have people going to the song, and Django, you're not going to go and read the same thread or the same blog post 7 times. You're not going to read the same article 7 times. You're going to read it once, maybe twice if it was technical or it really struck you or whatever, but you're not going to read it 7 times. You'll go listen to a song 7 or 8 times in a month, if it's a song you like. And this is why I said getting all these songs up there is good. It's a first step in the process. But go listen to them. And it's like, well, but then I got to hit the play button. Who cares? It's a page view. It's a click for Leo ads. Spotify ain't giving you shit. spot. And, as I said, and I don't know if anything could be done about this, but if we get enough songs up there, if we get enough activity, then we can go to Cal and say, put your developer team on this, figure it out. And you may not even have to go to Cal, because Cal may look at what's going on and saying, shit, let's figure this out. Let's figure out how to play this automatically and, allow people to do different things. That could possibly be built into the UI. But in the meantime, there's a reason for this. There's a reason for the sticky blog post, for the, what the hell did you call it, Django? You got your, you when you were talking about content, you said
stock and flow.
Stock and flow. Thank you. So your stock content. This is why Wikipedia gets so many damn impressions every month, is they're not putting up they're constantly putting up new stuff, but their entire database isn't with new information that's only 30 days old. So you will go read a Wikipedia page about New York City, even though that page was written maybe 10 years ago, and it's still getting clicks today.
True. It's true. That's the definition of stock content, like the stuff that you keep going back to. So yeah, absolutely. I love it. I'm kind of giddy here. I'm kind of in cloud 9 here because I can't wait. I can't wait to see what we're getting. It's like Christmas morning for me. I'm sitting here refreshing Hive Engine just because I have no idea. Like, I have no idea what to expect. Is it going to be 1 Leo? Is it going to be 10,000? I don't know. It's exciting.
Well, and my question is it only based on your Leo power, or is this evergreen content? Although Cal did say on an AMA, there's not a whole lot of evergreen stuff there. But that was a few weeks ago. But it's a big step forward. We talked about this on the air, and I thought, and maybe it's diminished because of the time, and a lot of the excitement waned. But I thought the day that those payments went out would set off a FOMO. And again, maybe it won't, because, we talked about this back in October or November, and it was initially going to start in November. Then it was going to initially start January 1st. And, then the Hive Engine situation. So, all of that.
Yeah.
But again, it's like, if one alpha, go look at what he gets, look at what Cal's account gets, look at what I get, look at what other people get, look at what Django gets, and whatever it is, it's like, why did we get that? For the most part, we got it because of the Leo that we have staked. It's that simple.
No, it's because we got really lucky, Task. We got really lucky.
I'm trying not to let people know that,
Right.
I spend hours. Many people meditate. I stand under a horseshoe to bring me luck. So I spend 30 minutes a day standing under a horseshoe that I have hanging from the ceiling. And as long as the string doesn't break and fall on my head, that brings good luck. Yeah. This is based on your Leo power. Stake more Leo power.
Stake, yeah, it's you ought to, like, without thinking too deep into this, it's pretty simple. Get Leo and stake it. Yeah, Cal said yes.
He's been talking about it for 7 months. Every day he buys, 100 Leo or whatever?
Yeah.
Every day he's buying it. And his account's growing. And it's like, is there any great mystery? And then, of course, the compounding that helps is curation. So it's pretty straightforward. The tokenomics are pretty straightforward, at least in this end of things. The buy demand, where it's coming from, is straightforward. And you are right. What you and Esby are talking about hits the nail on the head. This is fully in our control.
Amen. Yep.
The more threads you click on and open up, the more pages there are. The more Leo IO pages you go to, the more pages there are.
See, I think this is what's going to cause the FOMO. It's not going to be the day that we get paid out. It's going to be the track record of saying, oh, if I do this and this is the result of it. And then you have a track record of people constantly being active, constantly powering up Leo, constantly staking Leo. And then every month, ta-da, we get something in our wallet.
You could be right. I don't know if You could be right, but I don't know if that many people have that long-term focus. And when I say long-term, I'm talking 30 days. So
Yeah, 30-day focus in this industry, buddy.
yeah, so I mean, it's to do that, you have at least 31 days because you have between the first payout and the second payout, as long as they're a month apart. And it's like, do people have that type of attention? I don't know, but you could be right. I mean, it could be. I think as more people start threading and talking about what they've gotten, then yeah, hopefully that'll kick off a little bit of FOMO.
Yeah, that's what Andersino said too. He says hopefully people start posting all their ad revenue payouts in threads because that'll spice it up too. So as soon as you guys
or why don't you go post it all on Twitter?
Yeah, I know. Well, let's all go to Twitter. I'm going to go to Twitter. I'll post it on Twitter. I'll be like, you die. I'm going to go. This is what's so funny about Twitter. People losing their mind over trying to get like 1 million or 2 million impressions to get $30. I mean, if you read Cal's article on Leo Premium, if you've seen the track record of Leo Premium, you could do that with basically 100 views on Leo. Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's...
I mean, it's ego, man. People just want, oh, look at me. I got my blue check mark and I made $30 because I'm monetized now. I'm part of the cool kids. I'm the green candle gang, baby. Whoop-de-whoop. Whatever, man. Again,
I mean, if you're Mr. Beast, fine. You can go do whatever the hell you want. But if you're like the rest of us and you don't have a huge following, it's like I wrote an article because now they're talking about maybe unionizing content creators because somebody was saying, oh, I get 500,000 or 1 million views on Instagram and I make like $6. And how, oh, these platforms aren't sharing the money. Well, first off, nobody's forcing you to post there. And second off, I give more than $6 away a day in votes. And I don't give, I do sometimes when I just have to burn some voting power, I'll go and vote blog posts. But a lot of that's through Leo. And, that's given in small doses, but many times. And how many times, John Go, have you gone through the Threadcast? Have I gone through the Threadcast? And we've upvoted the same person 6 or 8 times. I mean, tokenized or somebody like that, or Andersino is going to get a crap load of votes just because he got active. And it's like, okay,
I got my first payout.
Good for you.
Yep. So I got around 300 Leo.
There you go.
Not bad. So it's like a little over $20 in Leo in my pocket with basically doing nothing but staking and interacting with people on top of everything that I'm earning. So this is the aha moment I think people will get. I'm going to be talking about this a lot tomorrow, the next day, the day after next. So fair warning, you guys were sick of Task doing news on Leo threads. Get ready for a whole lot of John Go. Look, you bunch of degens, you start getting Leo.
Well, and if I could throw something else out with what Cal is talking about, you got 300 Leo, and granted, I have to preface this by saying the amount of Leo is going to adjust based upon the price. But my main point is, you got $20. Let's just use the USD term. You got what you said, roughly about $20.
About $20. Yep.
And this is based on shit clicks. It's based on garbage clicks.
Right. On maybe 100 views.
It's based on 9,000 page views a day on Leo or whatever the hell we're averaging. What happens if there's 300,000 page views a day? Now, you're not going to get the same amount of Leo because you would presume the price of Leo will be a lot higher, but the ad revenue money will be much bigger. And then, instead of buying, I don't know, I'll just throw out a number here. Instead of $2,000 in ad revenue being used to purchase Leo, you have 20,000 or 30,000. I mean, this is where it comes back to. But again, what I started to show, what I've been harping on, what the hell are people going to do? What are you going to do? And this was the initiative of movies on Leo. This is why Leo Glossary. Leo Glossary was created from the start with the intention of ad revenue. That's how long I've been thinking about this. It's 18, 19 months. That's why. Music on Leo, news on Leo, all these different things are designed to get people involved, to get people active, to get people starting to do stuff and kick off the flywheel, if you will, to use that term, of activity, which then will feed into the flywheel of what Cal was talking about, not only on Leo Premium, but also on ad revenue.
Dude, this is a beast day for Leo, man. This is a big day, and we got to focus on this during our show, January 18th. Look at that. I feel special, man. I feel this is like a moment. This is a moment.
Are you going to cry? Or are you going to jump for joy?
Dude, I've been emotional all day, man. Look, you guys are epic, and there's 1,000,001 questions, so we're not going to be able to get to everyone's questions. Obviously, it's breaking news day. Leo ads payment is out. What is Leo? Everyone that's listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, in Leo.io, come and check out True Web3, shameless self-promotion for this glorious blockchain that just rewarded me for, guess what? Revenue sharing. cRaZy. Own the product. Get paid for the product. It's amazing. It's crazy stuff. And
we'll still see the same Fruit Loops on Threads. Oh, I'm trying to build my X account. Why? I want to get the 500,000 impressions. Why? So you get $2?
Yeah.
I mean, it's Wayne Gretzky, be where the puck is going.
This is where it's going. I won't get too many. Oh, yes. Andersino said, don't forget the people listening on Fountain. Yes, listening on Fountain. Thank you, Bitcoin Maxis. I appreciate you. Yeah, we won't get into everyone's questions because I think this is pretty big news. So we should spend the rest of the show talking about and just hammering home this point. But Bradley Arrow wanted to know when's he going to be on the Maniacs. So we got to have a special guest with Bradley Arrow showing up for a guest spot on the Maniacs. But I don't know when works for him because he works this time of day. And then he goes to bed at like 6 o'clock
Bradley,
at night.
to be perfectly candid, our schedule is pretty full for the next 3.5 years. We book way ahead.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we have tons of people beating down the doors to come on the show.
Well, even if we don't, we book way ahead. So figure about 3.5 years, Bradley, and get back to us then.
Love it. Yeah, this is big. Lisa just, threaded out what she got.
What did Lisa get? Just out of curiosity. I don't know what the numbers are. So what
she got 17.85.
There you go.
Leo.
There you go. Again, anything that shows up, it's like, what did you do for it? And Django hit the point on the head. That's in addition to everything else.
Right. Exactly.
You still got your curation. You still got your blog posts. You still got your thread posts, your author payouts, all of that. This is in addition.
Yes.
And this is a starting point. And here's my message. Everybody should view this as the starting point. Whatever the numbers are, I don't care what the numbers are, look to grow them. And that comes with more activity, more threads, more page views, more what's it? I keep remembering flow, but what's the other
stock
one?
And flow.
Stock
content.
Like stock options. Okay. I'll remember that. Get more stock content up there. Get threads that you can think of using threads. I go back to Tokenize with his cocktail stuff. All of this is applicable and helps. And we also see improvements in the search. So that's something that could help. Leo Glossary is not updated in the search for some reason. There's some technical snafus. So that has to be worked through. But again, if you look up a word, click on the damn page and open up the page. It all helps.
I just had to write something down because I'll forget it if I don't. That's age old That's showing my age, because if I don't write it down, I'll forget it.
And you're significantly younger than me, buddy. So
Dude, I don't feel it. But what you said, and we're beating a dead horse here, but I think it's very important for people to know. You just said use this as the starting point, and then we are in control of what comes down the road now.
Yep.
I don't
Yep.
really think people understand this point.
Yep.
And a lot of people still look to Twitter, look to TikTok,
Yep.
look to Instagram as to be their savior for this Web3 stuff.
Yep.
We can control what we get paid out next month and going forward.
You want to track a lot of people? It's real simple. If I go to Twitter and I say I made $700, just picking up a number off the top of my head, $700 in ad revenue by staking on Leo. Here's the link. I mean, that's the potential. Now, I mean, could one person generate $700? If the ad revenue is big enough, yes, it could. So that's the key. We are in control. We have the ability to change things. We have the ability to add content. Why do you think I've been harping on add Leo glossary pages to your posts? Not because of anything magical, but because if there's a Leo glossary page that has 1,000 different posts connected to it, maybe one or two people will read one of those posts and click through. And guess what? There's another click. And this stuff is, once you set that up, it doesn't go anywhere. That link is always established. Yeah. So this is why I keep harping on build databases, because let's be honest, for most threads, you put up 10 threads today, those 10 threads tomorrow or 2 days from now, after they're done with the For You, they're gone. So you got to put up another 10 threads. So you're starting all over again. You do the same thing pretty much with blog posts. Maybe there's a few blog posts that will have some stick-to-itiveness to them. But for the most part, let's be honest, what most of us are writing and how Leo.io ranks and all this other stuff, you write it, it's gone. But if you start to get these links going and you start to establish this stuff and you start to connect your articles to these other things, guess what? Those links are established. And if somebody does happen to stumble upon your article and it's got 5 other Leo Finance or Leo.io links in it, they could click through. And if you do another article with 5 more, now you got 10. You're not starting at 0 because you already had 5 from yesterday. This is how it grows. And I've been doing this for 18 months. I've been doing it hardcore for the last 3 months. And I see how the exponential works. And I see how, I'll add a page now in many instances, and I can go back to old pages and instantly link it. So that new page isn't even an orphan page for 3 minutes. It's instantly linked to another page. I haven't been doing this shit because I had nothing better to do with my time. I've been doing this shit for a reason. And I had an idea of where things were going because, again, Cal doesn't keep secrets. He talked about it. And what better way to get the ad revenue? And listen, Leo Glossary, if we build the database, I'm trying to remember my numbers here, but Wikipedia, I think they do about 4 or 5 billion page views a month, somewhere in there. It's an ungodly sum. But again, if we take this and we build, and they got 65 million pages between all their different languages. If we build anything a fraction of that size and get anything a fraction of that size in terms of the clicks, I mean, what is 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million page views of this stuff do a month? That changes completely the ad revenue.
Now you start being able to live off of this stuff.
Well, yeah, because you're not going to see 7-cent Leo. You're going to see Leo at a much higher level because suddenly suddenly the ad revenue. Again, Cal did that flywheel on premium, and he talked about 1,000 premium, and that would be $10,000, $5,000 buying Leo. Okay. Now, what if we get another 25,000 buying Leo because of ad revenues? 25,000 in ad revenues is nothing on the internet. You know that, Django, as well as I do. I mean, that's nothing. 25,000. What about 50,000? What about 100,000? What about another 10,000? So now it's 15,000 buying Leo. And you're incentivized to stake because obviously with the ad revenue, now that people see it, it's like you're going to get more.
Well, we're actually living this because I'm looking at the stats right now on this Threadcast. 2.82 Leo will be purchased from. So yeah. This is what we were saying in Esme and I were going back and forth. Imagine if we had 100 people generating 2.8 every couple times a day. I mean, and then what you just had 25,000 page views or 1 million page views. And then now this is from 100 page views.
Yeah.
That's what we generated.
Yeah. And RM Sagri, they had a EPL Threadcast this summer that had like 600 or 700 in it. So, yeah. I mean, again, Threadcasts are very valuable if the technology works, which it seems like there's a lot more stability.
Yeah.
Django, I'll have to send you this page so you can view it, and then maybe we can talk about it on air. But the Mets, the New York Mets, like many teams, they have blogs, and there's people, official team blogs, and there's blogs, fans, and people set up. And what they have is they don't call it a game cast, but anyway, they put up a post for the game. And, somebody does a write-up before the game of, who the pitchers are and what the pitcher's done over the last, 6 starts. And here's the starting lineup for each team. And this is a blog that I think it's a WordPress blog. And they use Discus as the comment section, right? And so people sign in with their Discus account. During the games, these game blogs or whatever you want to call them, game casts, game previews, whatever, they get 4,000 and 5,000 comments. 4,000 and 5,000 comments.
Crazy. Yeah.
So if we take that same type mindset and bring it to a Threadcast and say, okay, we did 250 Leo in 100. What if we had 2,000? So that's 20 times that. Right? Is my math right? So now you're talking 50 Leo. Okay, that's not changing the world, but this is just one Threadcast. What if you have 5 Threadcasts a day like that every day throughout the month, and in addition to all the other stuff? It all comes down to activity, and I think you nailed it. I'm glad you said it because I've been saying it. This is in our control, and you don't have to monkey around and none of this bullshit. Oh, well, we'll click on ads, and I'm just travel the site. Just travel the site. You see a thread, you like it, click on it, open it up if you're on desktop, open it up in a new tab, then make your comment. Check out people's profiles, check out their wallets, check out what they have, check out who they are, open up people's comments to threads and then, comment there. All these little things add up, and, you go and do an extra 100 a day, and 100 clicks a day is nothing. Exactly. Now you generated the same 250 we did off this Threadcast. You do that 30 times a month. There's an extra 75 Leo that you contributed. Now what if 100 of us do it?
And Cal just said this too in the Threadcast. You got to remember that gets bought and then spread out to power holders. So like this is the definition, in my opinion, of true Web3, because it's taking the ad revenue and it's distributing the token to the people that actually have stake in it. It's not going to ad companies. It's not going, well, shareholders is a bad example, but it's not going to another, it's going to the people that actually have vested interest in this place. So that.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Let's take Facebook or Google, either or, who are the two dominant advertising platforms or advertising companies online. They make their billions in revenues every quarter, most of it or a lot of it from ads, and they make their profitability. And who gets the benefit of that? The shareholders. Are shareholders users? Well, keep in mind that a lot of these major corporations are held by institution investing. So is Fidelity, is BlackRock on Facebook? Are they on YouTube? Are they on Twitter? No, of course not. I mean, they may have a company account just to do that, but they're not heavy platform users. So what about the average user on any of those platforms? We know about them. They ain't getting shit. What about the average user on Hive? Not the average user, the average owner. That's a better word. The average owner, because if you have Leo power, you actually own this digital real estate. And now, because of that, what the platform generates, you're getting a piece of it. And obviously, the bigger your stake, the more power holding you are, the more you're going to get. But somebody can come in either through buying or through their activities. You get busy on Threads. Cal, myself, Django, One Alpha, Eric, a Nomad Soul, Nifty. People are with Leo are going to find you, and they're going to upvote you. So, it's all there before you. Cal has laid out a very strong tokenomic situation, but more importantly, this is a very strong revenue design. And that's what you do not see in Web3. This is not about tokenomics. This is about business. This is about revenues. This is about thinking like a business owner. And why is your Hive account a business? Because Django just got a payout of $21 for doing nothing. He got $21 out of the revenue. I take that back. I don't want to say for doing nothing because Django's been active. But Django also is an owner, and he, because of his ownership stake, he supports himself with his attention. This is the attention economy. If your eyeballs, if your phone says the application that you spent the most time on when you open it up is Twitter, there's your attention. If it says Netflix, there's your attention. If it says, keychain, there's your attention. And where's your attention? Well, Django and me, our attention is on Leo. And now it's being monetized. And again, there will be people complaining, I only got this. Buy more Leo and stake it. Problem solved.
Get really lucky, you mean?
or stand under a horseshoe for 10 hours a day. One of the two.
Right. Dude, what a day. What a show. Apologies to everyone that we didn't get to your questions, but we have a bunch of stuff we can go over on Tuesday. So that's good. See, we're repurposing our content. Happy Leo Ads Day. January 18th, 2024 will go down in history. And we got to share it with you, epic people. We love you all. Thank you for coming. Have a fantastic evening. We got Lion's Den tomorrow with Task, 1 p.m. Eastern, right? Or is it 12 Eastern?
It's 1 p.m. Eastern. We will probably carry on this discussion. I don't know who's going to jump on air because we don't have guests. But...
Talk about Leo ads. Fine with me. I like it.
Well, I mean, like you said, it's big news. I mean, we've been waiting for this for a long time, but it's a good move.
Yep. And give Cal and his dev team the flowers. They deserve it for getting this out. And it's not a secret. This has not been a secret. And so this should tell everyone whatever's being written about and spoken about, pay attention to, because things like this are in the future. Have a fantastic day, and we will see you on Tuesday. Toodles.
Ciao.